Hey guys, Eli here. Have you ever heard of a game called Monkey See, Monkey Do? Well, believe it or not, we all play that game each and every day of our lives. Whether you're a young Kobe watching the TV and looking at Michael Jordan like, you know what, I'm gonna be like him one day. Matter of fact, if not better, doing whatever it takes at any cost to achieve his goal. Or you can be an average Joe Schmo at your job, seeing one of your colleagues with a brand new car and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get that. Doing whatever it takes to achieve that goal as well, even if it means getting into debt. See, in life, we have the rich and we have the poor. On this video, I wanna give you a little bit of mindset to see what can we do to get to that other side that we call the promised land. And we're starting now. If you guys love to talk about personal finance and mindset and you guys want to help support the Urban Lifestyle channel, start now by subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that notification icon so you guys get future notifications of my future videos. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, it's highly appreciated, and comment your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know. So here we go. We have two sides. We have the rich, which lives life the way they want. They have money, they can buy whatever they want. Some people may perceive that as happiness. And of course, we have the poor, the life that nobody wants to have, where they're struggling for money, living check bills broke, or doesn't have the funds or capital to live by on daily needs. But one question I do like to ask is, what about the middle? Somewhere where you're not poor, but at the same time, you're not rich as well. Where you have more than enough for you and your family to survive, but you can't go out and buy the new Lamborghini as well. Well, while the average American may not have $1,000 to their name, and 90% of the entire wealth in America may belong to the 1%, we also can't forget there's a group in the middle that's living comfortable. Now, going back to the game of Monkey See, Monkey Do, I was playing that game, and matter of fact, I'm still playing it in a way. Let me explain. 10 years ago, my life was to make sure I get to impress all my friends. Reason being is because all my friends impressed me. Whether they had the car that they were making payments on, whether they had the credit card that they practically almost maxed out. They didn't let me know that. But I was in awe of them because everything they wanted, whether it be, hey, they wanted to go out and get the brand new Jordans, they went and did it. They showed me this lifestyle where they're well dressed, their car is always clean, they get all the fancy games they want, all that extra stuff. And here I am saying, wow, I want to do that too. And I did. And for me to do that, I had to rack up about $10,000 in debt that I just recently paid off, by the way. And that pretty much was my life until I met someone else, a millionaire. And having a small conversation with him, it actually stretched my mind way beyond, because it was uncomfortable to talk to him because he challenged everything that I thought about. It's just the way he was thinking. And I was like, man. And I was like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed. He said, listen, the way you think is an accumulation of everybody around you. Now tell me, how many people around you have $1 million like me? Sounds cocky, right? But I'm really happy he did this. I was like, no one. Then he said, the majority of my friends are millionaires just like me, and they all think the same way. See, the difference between you and me is just the way we think. If you change the way you think, you can change your pockets. And that was the best bit of information somebody ever gave me. If that was everything he taught me, it would have all been worth it. So the next words that I uttered out my mouth was, hey, what is it that I have to do? He says, hey, you're gonna have to pick up books and read, because successful people read. He said you're gonna have to find people that's on the grind, even if it's not personal. If you have to go on YouTube to find people with like-minded that has the same life that you want, and make sure they have the fruits on their tree, follow them and see what they do in their life and mimic what they do. So the next thing I said in return is, so I gotta be a sucker? He said, believe it or not, if that's the term you want to use for it, you're already doing it. You're just doing it with people that's not gonna issue the result that you want in your life. He says, the clothes you have on, do you have those clothes because it was your choice? Or because you saw somebody else got the Jordans and somebody else got the Louis Vuitton, and then you said, hey, you know what? I want to get that. Then he went on and said, hey, listen, I have a multi-million-dollar business and I don't even own one pair of Jordans. And the next thing he said resonated with me to the core of my being. He says, if you want to be like the 1%, if you ever have a dream of being like the 1%, you're gonna have to do what the 1% does. And that's pretty much the basis of this video today. What do the 1% do? Not just that, we have to break down what does the average people do as well, and understand that it's all a mindset behind the things that they do that gives them the result that they want in life. So if you want to change your results, you're gonna have to change the way you view things, and the way you change the way you view things is to change what you have in here. So let me ask you a question. In a recession, what do average people do? They practically just take their money and save it to make sure they can get by to the next day. day. Now, if you examine what does the 1% do with their money, they find broken down assets or maybe assets that's going down within that recession, and they do their research and see, hey, can that company bounce back when we're not in a recession? And they buy those investments. Like during the pandemic, we said, hey, a lot of wealth was transferred to the rich people, but not knowing that the average rich person was actually buying up assets, and they were buying when everyone was afraid. And I stated this in a video a while back. The only difference between someone who's average and someone who's rich and wealthy is the way they spend their money. The 1%, they spend their money buying asset, while the rest of the people, they spend money buying liabilities. I can buy a Nike shoe right now, and 10 years from now, I just own the shoe if it's still in good condition and I haven't thrown it away. But at the same time, I can buy shares of Nike, and for the next 10 years, I would receive dividends, and if not, share appreciation. So in one scenario, I spent $100 on a shoe, and that's it. That $100 is gone. It goes to that company. In the next scenario, I can spend $100 buying a share, and every time somebody buys that shoe, I get a piece of that cut. See, the thing is, we have to ask ourselves the question, who inspires us? When it boils down to it, it's all about the mindset. See, one thing we all love to ask our kids is, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know what I ask my kids? I ask my kids, how do you want to live when you grow up? It's a total different question, total different mindset. Because if you tell me, hey, I want to be a doctor, yeah, you can be a doctor. But if you tell me, hey, listen, I want to live, I want to own my own mansion, I want to own my own island, I'm like, hey, you know what? Doctor's not gonna cut it. I told my daughter, once she knows how she want to live, then we can formulate a plan on what she can do to actually achieve it. So with all that being said, I leave you with this. How would you guys love to live? And once you have that figured out, what are you gonna do to get to that place? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video made sense. If it did, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. I came to the realization that grinding, hustling, it becomes a lifestyle. If you want to ever become something, it has to be ingrained into your lifestyle. Everything I'm doing is part of my life right now. That's just my culture. That's the culture I'm setting in my household. What culture you guys are setting in your household? You got to think about it. The culture in my lifestyle is whatever we buy, how does it produce in our lives? Whether it be finance, and that's how we think in the Eli household.